Hi and a big welcome to Steve's Kitchen and Merry Christmas to you. Today I'm going to be making a short crust pastry mince pie. So this is a little different to the other two that I was making. It's a more savoury pastry and probably one of my favourites, but let's try all three of them and see how we go. Let me show you how this is done. So into a mixing bowl, I'm putting 250 grams, that's 8 ounces approximately, of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt. Now the fats I'm using in this are going to be 2 ounces of butter and 2 ounces of lard. That's around about 55 grams. Now you can use all butter if you like. This is at room temperature, but really I urge you to try and use lard. It gives a lovely flavour. And now we're just going to use our fingers and we're going to rub the lard and the butter into the flour to get a soft breadcrumb. Now when you've got this nice loose crumb here, I'm just going to add 4 tablespoons of ice cold water into the mix. Then using a flat knife or a palette knife, just cut that through into the crumb. Now as I cut that through, I can see that the grain is still quite dry, so I'm going to add another couple of tablespoons. And then continue to cut that through. And as my pastry starts to bind like that, I can see that's probably about ready, so I'm going to use my hands now to bind the flour together into one nice pastry. So I've used 6 tablespoons of water and I've got this nice crumbly dough here, and I'm just going to cover that now for an hour and put it into the fridge to allow the dough to settle. Now I've got my short crust pastry out of the fridge and it's nice and cool here. I'm just going to lightly flour the surface, and then I want to roll this out to about a quarter of an inch thick. Now you'll notice, unlike the sweet pastry, that this one's a lot more crumbly, but don't worry about that. You can just sort of push that together as you roll it. Okay, I've rolled my pastry out now. Now it's 1/8 of an inch. I think I said quarter of an inch, but I meant 1/8. And we're going to use our cutter again, and we're just going to cut out 12 base discs. So there are my bases for the pies, and they're a 3-inch. Now I'm taking a 2.5 inch cutter to do the tops. So I'll just cut out 12 tops. So as with my sweet crust pastry, I'm just putting the bases now into the pie tin. Just push them down gently. Now I've got my bases in there. I'm going to put a teaspoon of mincemeat in the centre of each one. And this is my homemade mincemeat again, guys. Go over to the channel and check out how to make mincemeat. So now all the mince pies are filled, I'm just going to take the tops that I cut with the slightly smaller diameter and putting a little milk wash onto these just to help seal the lids down, and then just push them down gently around the edges to seal the pie. So when we've got all the tops sealed on nicely, I'm just going to take a sharp knife and just put a little prick in the centre just to let the pressure out as the mincemeat steams. Then I'm just going to take that milk I used earlier, it's just plain milk by the way, and just brush it over the top just to help make the tops go a little bit brown. You could also use an egg wash for this. Now with the egg wash on, we're going to pop these into the oven. They'll take about 15 to 20 minutes and we'll expect them to go a nice golden brown. Well guys, there they are. The mince pies are out of the oven. They were in there 20 minutes. A beautiful golden brown. I'm just going to let them cool down completely and then I'll try one. And I love a little sprinkling of powdered sugar over the top, so I'm just going to do that quickly. It does add to the flavour and it makes them look a little more seasonal. So here goes, let's try one of these now. They're soft. The pastry is lovely and crumbly. They're soft, not as sweet as the other pies, but in my mind, that gives an extra little savoury flavour which really is delightful. I mean, this is a mince pie that I grew up with, so it's probably one of my favourites. A mince pie I've eaten more often as I've been an adult are the puff pastry ones. You saw those in the other video. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, get across and see the other mince pie recipes and the Christmas puddings and all the other bits and pieces that will be coming up over Christmas. I will just say now I'm going to be doing a gluten-free mince pie also for my good friend Anne over at Easy Gluten Free. So check that one out in the next couple of days. Be good, I'll see you in the next video. Now don't forget guys, you can get over to the channel and you can see how we make the puff pastry mince pie and the short crust pastry mince pie, as well as this sweet crust pastry pie. Three very similar pies with completely different undertones. So give them a try, let me know which ones you like. So guys, thank you for joining me for this mince pie video. I shall leave some links here to some other videos on my channel, and as always, I'd love to hear your comments down below. Please subscribe to the channel, and anything you want to ask, any requests, happy to hear them. I've got one last mince pie to do, and that'll be the gluten-free mince pie. See you then. Easy it is to make your own homemade mincemeat.